Hola, hola a todos, muy buenas tardes. Un cálido bienvenido aquí desde Victoria, British Columbia. Para los que no saben, estamos muy cerca de Vancouver, del lado oeste de Canadá. Bienvenidos a nuestro webinar de cómo venir a vivir a Canadá a través del estudio. El día de hoy estaremos con University of Victoria, Continuing Studies. Aquí tenemos a Marlo. Marlo es la directora de los programas de negocios. Tercera y última llamada porque son las 5 y somos puntuales. Marlo, I will be speaking my part mostly in Spanish. Your part will be mostly in English because we are firm believers that if you don't have a good level of English, then you probably shouldn't be looking at studying in university. Unless you want to go into an English language program. Entonces, repitiendo, chicos, Marlo es la directora de los programas de negocios de parte de estudios continuos y básicamente ella va a hacer su parte en inglés. Cualquier duda yo puedo entrar ahí a traducir, pero ella va a hacer su parte en inglés porque para venir a estudiar a Canadá en estudio superior se necesita tener un cierto nivel de inglés, entonces, y de comprensión. Entonces, les damos la bienvenida. Vamos a empezar el día de hoy. Como os digo, estamos aquí, son las 5 de la tarde, estamos en Victoria, British Columbia, y vamos a empezar básicamente por hablar un poquito de quiénes somos y qué podemos hacer nosotros para traerlos desde México hasta Canadá. Cómo los llevamos de la mano en todo el proceso, que sí es un proceso muy engorroso con la embajada, con el gobierno canadiense, incluso con la escuela. Entonces, vamos a empezar primero y vamos a hablar sobre quién es Cell Canada. So we have 39 people logged in right now. Maybe we should wait a couple of minutes to see if more, no doubt, will join us. Before we start, I just told them we're going to be speaking a little about presentation on who is Canadian Education Link and how can we bring them by the hand all the way from Mexico to Canada and to navigate the admissions seas, admissions waters, navigate the immigration waters as well. So we'll start first with the presentation. Vamos a iniciar con la presentación un poquito de quiénes somos nosotros. Nosotros somos una empresa canadiense fundada en 2007, hace 13 años atrás, con oficinas y apoyo en ambos países. Muy importante que tengan por confianza que estamos enlazados con la Embajada de Canadá y con la CanCham. Somos orgullosos socios de la Cámara de Comercio del Canadá en México. Por ende, somos un puente educativo y migratorio entre México y Canadá, con apoyo antes, durante y después de cada proceso. Y créeme que sí hay muchos procesos, pero ya llegaremos a ese tema. Somos también agentes oficiales sobre temas migratorios. Aquí tienen nuestra certificación. Ahí podrán ver abajo de Official Immigration Agents of Zafira y su cédula profesional. Ahí está el nombre de un servidor y de nuestra directora de operaciones en México, que es la licenciada Angélica Arredondo Pérez. También la empresa en sí está certificada con los cuerpos regulatorios de inmigración en Canadá, como an Agents Immigration Corporation, sería Canadian Education Link, como pueden ver, CEL Canadá, CEL, eso significa. Aquí tenemos nuestra, thank you very much, aquí tenemos nuestra cabeza del departamento migratorio, Zafira Dewing, y aquí tenemos los servicios que manejamos nosotros en nuestra empresa. Manejamos los Pilot Immigration Projects, los programas pilotos, manejamos lo que es los Family Class Sponsorships, los Express Entries, los PNPs, postgrads, todo ese tema, básicamente lo pueden ver con nosotros. Muy importante, chicos, esto es sumamente importante porque hay mucho fraude alrededor del tema de venir a Canadá. Hay muchísimo fraude. ¿Por qué? Porque Canadá pues, sigue siendo uno de los países más buscados para ir a vivir a nivel mundial, no solo con México o Latinoamérica, sino a nivel mundial. Aquí pueden ver en la página de ICCRC, pueden ver las diferentes pestañas: Home, About Us, Fraud, Covenants. Entonces, la tercera pestaña, Fraud, fraude. Ahí le dan clic y les aparece un listado con 20 tips de cómo identificar si la persona o la empresa con quien ustedes están trabajando, si son personas que están oficializadas, si están personas oficiales para tratar sobre temas migratorios o no es así. Y si no es así, pues entonces corten la relación de trabajo. Porque nos llegan por diario gente que pues ya les han quitado dinero, que ya les han prometido la luna y pues no. Entonces ahí como pueden ver, Safira Ewing, nuestra consultora oficial de migración, tiene su cédula activa, su cédula profesional. Pueden ver arriba de ella, la persona que está arriba de ella está resigned, significa que hizo algo que no debía y se le quitaron su licencia. Entonces, muy importante que la persona o la empresa con quien ustedes estén trabajando tengan esa vigente. Aquí podrán ver la formalidad. Estas fotos, es muy importante que vean que estas fotos no son de presunción. No es para presumir, mira, aquí estamos con fulano o con sotano. No, estas fotos son para que vean la formalidad y las bases de confianza que tenemos nosotros con los 13 años, 13, que tenemos manejando, cambiando las vidas de familias mexicanas. Aquí pueden ver esto, un servidor en la orilla. En medio están dos personas, dos directores de un college aquí local en Victoria. Pueden ver en color rosa y en negro están Alejandro y Mercedes. Ellos son los gerentes de nuestra oficina en Metepec. Y en medio de ellos está nuestra directora de operaciones en México, la licenciada Angélica Redondo Pérez, la cual es mi socia en todos los sentidos de la vida. No solo en el negocio, sino también somos esposos. Y el de camisa azul con corbata roja, pues creo que ya todos lo conocen, ¿no? No creo que necesita presentar, pero por si han vivido en una cueva en estos últimos 4 años y no han visto noticias, les puedo decir que es Justin Trudeau, nuestro primer ministro de Canadá. Aquí pueden ver una de las muchas invitaciones del embajador de Canadá a un servidor. Aquí estamos nosotros con lo que es el nuevo embajador de Canadá en México, Mr. Graham Clark. Él tomó posesión de la embajada en diciembre, terminando su término en Francia, en París, y ahora es el embajador de Canadá en la Ciudad de México. Aquí estamos con el previo, con Pierre Alary, y aquí está Angie, nuestra directora de operaciones en México, en la última visita del honorable ministro de Relaciones Exteriores. Como pueden ver, ahí lo tienen en la embajada también. Nuestra oficina matriz como empresa, somos una empresa canadiense y tenemos también las oficinas en México. En Victoria estamos a 2 cuadras del agua, muy cerca de U-Vic, de hecho, muy cerca de la Universidad de Victoria. Contamos con nuestra oficina matriz en México, en Querétaro. En Querétaro está en La Joya, pegado a Jardines de la Hacienda, que está en Boulevard Dolores del Río, para los que conocen por ahí. Y también tenemos, como les mencionaba, la sucursal en Metepec, que da servicio a lo que es Santa Fe, Ciudad de México, y a Toluca. Está también ubicada en el centro, en una plaza comercial, en el centro de lo que es Metepec también. ¿Por qué Canadá, chicos? Esto es muy importante. Además de que somos el segundo país más grande del mundo, después de Rusia, somos el país más multicultural del mundo, de acuerdo a la ONU. Somos uno de los países más seguros del mundo, accesible, con vuelos, bueno, pre-COVID, antes de la pandemia. Teníamos vuelos directos desde la Ciudad de México sin paradas o escalas en Estados Unidos, vuelos accesibles de 5 horas. Somos el país con la mejor calidad de vida en el mundo, también. Esa parte hemos sido consistentemente en los últimos 5 o 6 años. Y somos el segundo país más grande del mundo después de Rusia. Y también el país con el mayor número de lagos en el mundo. ¿Por qué menciono eso? Porque tenemos la mayor reserva de agua dulce en el planeta, ¿ok? Muy importante. Siempre me preguntan las personas, ¿cuánto se gana en Canadá? Esto es una parte muy importante. Aquí tienen un promedio de lo que es el salario mínimo que en Canadá se paga por hora, en dólar canadiense, obviamente, y eso se maneja por provincia. Cada provincia tiene su tabla. A partir de junio 1 de este año, como pueden ver, ahí tienen las diferentes tablas, ¿ok? Pero lo más importante es que la gente me pregunta, oye, John, ok, eso es el salario mínimo, pero entonces, ¿cuánta gente gana el salario mínimo? ¿Y qué creen? La próxima diapositiva, ahí está. En el verde claro, ustedes pueden ver un Canada-wide del porcentaje de personas que ganan lo que es el salario mínimo. Un 6.9, vamos a redondearlo a 7%, a nivel Canadá. A nivel Canadá también tenemos el 26% de las personas están ganando un salario de $15 o menos. Menos sería un salario base, más comisiones, propinas, etc. Entonces estamos hablando de un salario promedio, está el 26. Entonces, como pueden ver, casi el 70% de Canadá está ganando un salario promedio del mediano. Entonces, eso les dice, esa es una de las razones principales de por qué tenemos una muy buena calidad de vida en Canadá, y quizás una de las razones del por qué pues, están queriendo buscar oportunidad de venir para acá, ¿no? El programa de estudio con trabajo. Esa parte es muy importante, study and work. No es solo un cambio. Ustedes no se van a cambiar a vivir de Veracruz o de Monterrey a otra ciudad y si no les funciona, se regresan. O sea, esto es un proyecto de vida. Se están cambiando de país, ¿no? A otro país, otra cultura, otro idioma, otro clima, otro todo. Entonces, es muy importante que tengan un muy buen plan. ¿Dónde manejamos estos programas? Casi de costa a costa. Como pueden ver, manejamos los programas de estudio con trabajo de costa a costa. ¿A qué programas tienes acceso en las diferentes instituciones? Certificados, diplomados, licenciaturas, maestrías y doctorados. Ok, aquí podrán ver los certificados, no aplican para la parte migratoria. Los certificados son programas para las personas que quieren venir a Canadá, estudiar, trabajar, certificarse y regresar a su país de origen. Eso sería un caso. Los diplomados aquí ustedes pueden ver, son 2 años de estudio con trabajo, part-time, y hasta 1, 2 o 3 años más de trabajo full-time. Esa parte es muy importante. La pareja podrá aplicar a lo que es obtener un permiso de trabajo tiempo completo, un Open Work Permit, ¿ok? Con este programa sí se podría, siempre y cuando cumplan con los requisitos, sí se podría aplicar a la residencia permanente. Nosotros los llevamos de la mano con todas las diferentes etapas. Las licenciaturas, pues lo mismo que los diplomas, pero serían de 3 a 4 años, y las maestrías y los doctorados también son diferentes. Ahora, ojo, los diplomados, este es para la parte del estudiante, el aplicante principal. Ahora vamos a ver la familia. Si es que tienes familia, si es que tienes hijos, pareja, ¿qué significa en ese caso? En ese caso, solo en diplomados, maestrías o doctorados, tu pareja podrá obtener un permiso de trabajo abierto, un Open Work Permit. Sería trabajo full time, puedes trabajar hasta 40 horas por semana. Tus hijos entran al sistema de educación básica canadiense siempre y cuando cumplan con ciertos requisitos. Y también es muy importante recordarles que esta cuestión de que los niños entren al sistema escolar canadiense se maneja por distrito. Cada distrito escolar, o sea, por colonia, digamos así, A nivel Canadá no son reglamentos federales, sino son reglamentos por cada distrito. O sea, cada distrito decide qué reglas poner para ver si puedo admitir o no a tus hijos. Eso ya lo pueden ver de manera personal con nuestros asesores y con ese equipo de trabajo ahí en México, ¿ok? Esa parte es muy importante, la vamos a estar hablando. ¿Dónde manejamos esto? Lo manejamos, como vieron, en todas las ciudades. Sin embargo, vamos a hablar de Victoria, ¿ok? Victoria, que es la ciudad de donde soy, es una ciudad, como pueden ver, miren, en noviembre estoy de manga corta, pero afuera no. Esa es una parte muy importante. Es la ciudad con el mejor clima en todo Canadá, ¿ok? Somos, ahora sí, fuera de broma, somos considerados entre los canadienses como el Caribe canadiense. O sea, la gente grande a nivel Canadá se viene a vivir aquí en los inviernos para escaparse de lo que es el frío de los 30 bajo cero, los 40 bajo cero. Esa parte es muy, muy importante, pero no es de acaso que somos así. Tenemos un pequeño fenómeno, es un fenómeno que se llama The Pineapple Express. Es una corriente de aire, un flujo de aire tropical que viene de las islas del Pacífico Sur y que bañan a lo que es Vancouver, Victoria, con el clima más templado de todo Canadá. Ahí tienen la pequeña explicación meteorológica. Ok, entonces, como pueden ver, Victoria, estamos en la costa oeste de Canadá, un poquito al sur de Vancouver. Somos la capital de British Columbia. Contamos con una población de unos 300,000 habitantes, 350,000 habitantes en el centro. Tenemos el clima más templado de Canadá, ya lo vimos. De hecho, en Querétaro, muchas veces de noche, hace más frío en el invierno que aquí en Victoria. Somos un destino turístico muy popular y tenemos viajes a Vancouver, 90 minutos en ferry o 15 minutos en avioneta. Entonces, esto les da una pequeña idea. Entonces, ahora, la parte más importante, dicen ustedes, ¿no? ¿Qué necesito? ¿Qué necesitan para venir? Dos cosas, chicos, dos cosas. Necesitan el nivel de inglés o francés, en dado caso, certificado, un TOEFL IBT, un mínimo de 83 puntos, no menos de 20 en cada banda, o un IELTS académico. Recuerden que hay dos TOEFLs, hay dos tipos de TOEFL y hay dos tipos de IELTS. Necesitamos que sea uno de esos dos, el IELTS académico, no el General Training, y en el TOEFL el IBT. Con mínimo 6 a 7 puntos. Ahora, por la cuestión del COVID, también muchas instituciones están tomando el Duolingo, pero eso no es permanente. Entonces, esto es muy temporal. Y también pueden tomar con la Universidad de Victoria el EAP, que sería English for Academic Purposes o inglés para propósitos académicos, que es el inglés que les va a enseñar a tomar notas para hacer sus ensayos, para hacer todo el estudio superior, que es muy, muy importante. Entonces, idioma es número uno, la solvencia económica sería el número dos. Necesitamos que tengan recomendados son $10,000 canadienses más un año de colegiatura para el aplicante principal. En caso de familia, serían $4,000 canadienses por la pareja y $3,000 por cada hijo o hija que tenga. Esto tienen que tenerlo de una forma líquida, o sea, una cuenta de ahorros, un fondo de inversiones, no tienen que pagarlo, mucho menos, y se pueden apoyar con estados de cuenta de familiares. Para ese tema también ya se puede ver con nuestro equipo de trabajo ahí en México. Una vez que tengan esos dos, ya podrían obtener su permiso de estudio y trabajo. El EAP, pues voy a dejar que Marlo hable un poquito más sobre lo que es el inglés académico. Esa parte es muy, muy importante porque les da muchas más probabilidades de que cursen el diploma de una manera más exitosa, ¿ok? Entonces, es muy, muy importante esa parte. Entonces, vamos a pasar ahora rápido a lo que es un pequeño testimonio.
una decisión importante, es un gran reto. Me enamoré mucho, la verdad, de la cultura del país, de todo por acá y pues es mucho de planear, de investigar y de prepararse.
Pues me siento muy feliz de vivir esta experiencia, que conocer personas de diferentes partes del mundo, sobre todo porque aprendes muchas cosas, muchas tradiciones, muchos idiomas, el idioma inglés, que somos muy afortunados de poder vivir esta etapa en nuestras vidas.
Que está muy padre aquí, son muchos cambios, bueno, muchas cosas diferentes, pero a lo bueno, hacia la escuela es mucho mejor aquí, bueno, es diferente, tienes más oportunidad de hacer como más cosas o estudiar diferentes cosas o intentar algo nuevo acá.
Estamos muy contentos aquí con la decisión que tomamos, así que nuestra recomendación es piénsenlo bien, pero sin titubear.
Vale la pena, es una experiencia que vale la pena vivir, es inversión, tiempo, dinero. Venir a Canadá ha sido una de las mejores decisiones que he tomado en mi vida.
Y bueno, obviamente algo que ellos piden mucho, asistencia en clase, perseverancia y no rendirse, porque es algo que aquí toman mucho en cuenta. Y pues obviamente aprovechar todo lo que ellos como profesores nos están dando. Lo que yo refleje en clase ahora va a reflejarse para ser yo profesional. Estoy estudiando Tourism and Hospitality Management. La verdad es un área con mucha oportunidad, que aquí en Victoria especialmente, porque es un área muy turística. Por lo mismo el clima es excelente, es perfecto. Ahora yo trabajando en el hotel, hay mucha gente de otras partes de Canadá que vienen a Victoria para salir del frío.
Sé el Canadá desde el momento en el que yo fui a la oficina, sentí confianza en el equipo, o sea, Angie siempre ha estado en contacto conmigo, siempre por medio de mensajes o por correo electrónico, nunca me ha dejado como con una duda, siempre ha sido muy clara y muy honesta. Me ofrecieron desde el principio un plan.
Buscar trabajo después de los 40, que no fueron 40, buscar trabajo a los 55 años no es fácil. En México las condiciones a cualquier edad se vuelven complicadas. Y aquí, por ejemplo, dar oportunidades, hablando incluso, por ejemplo, de edades que no tiene que ver nada de raza, sí puedo decir que he visto cero existencia y presencia. He visto contratar a señores de tercera edad, a gente discapacitada.
Como pareja nos ha cambiado mucho la vida. Yo ya estoy en un puesto de oficina y todavía no termino mi carrera, posgrado. Empecé a hacer contactos, empecé a hablar con más personas y eso fue clave para conseguir el trabajo que ahora tengo.
Bueno, ha sido un cambio para bien, nos sentimos muy contentos, muy tranquilos.
Por mi parte, ningún arrepentimiento, sí fue algo que lo estuvimos platicando prácticamente entre 3 y 5 años antes como para tomar esta decisión. Sin embargo, pues es algo que nos ha venido a cambiar nuestra vida.
Créanme que una vez que ya llegas aquí no te quieres regresar por nada. Al principio es duro, si extrañas a tu familia, si pasan muchas cosas. La verdad es que vale la pena. Aparte siempre, bueno, mínimo nuestra experiencia es de que ustedes siempre estuvieron ahí para nosotros.
Es muy cierto que si no hubiera sido por ustedes no estaríamos aquí. O sea, sí es algo que teníamos muchas ganas de hacer, pero no teníamos idea de cómo empezar ni de cuáles eran los pasos, y gracias a haber ido a su agencia ustedes nos dieron muy fácil y muy explicado todo lo que teníamos que hacer y nuestras posibilidades para poder cumplir nuestro sueño, que era venirnos acá.
Exacto, y especialmente porque nosotros nunca habíamos estado ni en Vancouver, ni en Canadá, ni en nada, entonces como que ustedes nos aterrizaron el sueño, el plan, y fue como paso a paso, incluso ya cuando estábamos aquí, que Fer tuvo que sacar su visa otra vez, siempre sabemos que podemos, aunque ya tengamos tiempo pues de no contactarlos porque pues ya empezamos nuestra vida y lo que sea, siempre sabemos que podemos mandarles un mensaje y ahí está.
Ya una vez dado el primer paso, te va a llegar al segundo, al tercero y quién sabe hasta el final. Entonces,
no es nada más como la parte migratoria, también como amigos están al pendiente y eso es muy padre.
Muchas gracias.
No.
Bueno, yo sí no haberlo hecho antes.
No haberme venido a estudiar cuando era más joven, mi carrera aquí, la verdad. No lo sigan pensando más y que se animen.
Ahí está, chicos, ahí tienen su testimonio de varias Familias, ahora, sin más, vamos a pasar el micrófono virtual a Marlo, de University of Victoria, Business Management Programs. I'm hoping that Marlo is around. There she is. Perfect. You didn't go to sleep. That's good. That's good.
No, that was excellent. It was a beautiful video.
Entonces, chicos, les dejo en las muy capaces manos de Marlo Morrison. Marlo, if you need me, I am here. I'll turn my video off. Y nada más talk about the chat room. Nada más, chicos, tenemos el chat deshabilitado. ¿Por qué? Porque vamos a abrirlo al final, una vez que termine Marlo. Vamos a abrir el chat por unos 15, 20 minutos, porque todo nuestro equipo de trabajo de México los va a estar contactando de manera personal en estos próximos días. Marlo, take it away.
Okay, so thank you everyone, and thank you John and the Canadian Education Link team for inviting me here this evening. As John said, I'm I'm a program coordinator at the University of Victoria Division of Continuing Studies. Specifically, I work and manage the business and management programs that we offer through the Division of Continuing Studies. So this evening, I'm just going to start my presentation here. I hope this is okay for everyone to see and hear clearly. But today, what I'm going to do is give you an overview of who we are, where we are, and what some of the options are through U-Vic Continuing Studies for business programs. But I will just, I won't spend too much time talking about the city of Victoria or Canada, as I know my friend John and his team are experts on that as well. And John's already shared a bunch of useful information with everyone this evening already. So what I'd like to do is really focus a little bit on U-Vic, and then primarily give you an overview of the program options that we have through U-Vic Continuing Studies Business and Management Programs, as well as spend some time answering any questions you might have. This is a really important part for me. I really like to hear what questions people might have. And I do apologize that I'll be conducting my part of the presentation in English. But if there are those who need to study English, we of course can work with CEL to help you make a plan to find an English program at U-Vic and continue on to the diploma program. So for now, if you do have questions at the end, but you feel like your English, you would be more comfortable asking a question in Spanish, please feel free to do that. And John and I will work together to make sure you get the information that you need. So we've already gone over Victoria a little bit, but I will reinforce what John said in his part of the presentation, that we love to brag in Victoria that we have the best weather in Canada. So Victoria is a beautiful, safe, friendly city, and I'm there right now. I love living here, and it's a fantastic place to be, and we feel very lucky to be here. And the University of Victoria, of course, is a world-class university located just 15 minutes from downtown Victoria. So let me just see here. As John may have introduced, we are one of the best universities in one of the most beautiful cities in Canada. University of Victoria is consistently ranked one of Canada's top 3 comprehensive universities, and our campus is beautiful and park-like. So we have a forest. We are a 15-minute walk down the road from the beach at UVic. You can see if I go back, our campus is right down the road from a beautiful bay called Cadborough Bay that students often walk to. So, and we are also a 15-minute walk or a 15-minute bus ride from the downtown center of the city. The University of Victoria has a comprehensive list of university faculties that you might guess, such as arts, science, humanities, as well as the Division of Continuing Studies, which is where business and management programs are located. So as you can imagine, the UVic is a world-class campus, and our campus offers full-service amenities, such as athletics facilities, multiple cafes and restaurants, a movie theater, and a huge range of students' clubs. The Division of Continuing Studies at U-Vic is located on campus. But what is the Division of Continuing Studies, you might be wondering? So the Division of Continuing Studies is a department at the university dedicated specifically to adult education and professional programs in a number of specialized areas like English language training, teacher training, arts, science, and technology, and of course, business management and leadership courses and programs, which is what I'll be sharing information about today. So this is my building. This is where our offices are located and where many of the classes in our programs take place, the Division of Continuing Studies building. And some business and management programs at U-Vic welcomes more than 800 students per year to professional courses and programs. We offer individual courses and full programs that can be taken both part-time and full-time by Canadian and international students. So some students take individual courses in our program because they're interested in a topic for their work or for professional development, or they apply to and complete an entire certificate or diploma in business administration program full-time, which is obviously why most of you might be attending this session today. You might be interested in these full-time programs. So some of the excellent features of our courses and programs are our experienced instructors who love to share their professional, real-world workplace experience in the class, our small class sizes, and the case study method we use to teach our business courses, which helps students to gain experience making business decisions and solve real-life business problems. However, of course, the biggest strength and amazing part of our programs is the group of experienced and diverse students that we bring together to learn from each other in continuing studies. So, and also another relevant piece of information for many students who might be, or potential students who might be listening here this evening, our full-time format certificate and diploma in business administration programs may qualify students to apply for the postgraduate work permit program in Canada, which I'm sure many students will have questions about at the end of our session. So full-time study in business and management programs requires students to complete a minimum of 3 courses per academic term in all of our programs. So to give you a sense of what 3 courses means, each of our courses has an estimated workload of about 8 to 12 hours of study time per course per week. So that means study time includes everything. It includes face-to-face sessions if there are some, readings, textbook readings, interacting with other students, working on assignments, all of those things are included in that estimate. On campus, our courses take place in the Continuing Studies building, and online, which is really relevant to our students studying right now, as you can imagine. Our courses use a learning environment called Moodle. So this means that students are working on their full-time courses with the same amount of study time, but entirely online, and they're located all over the world currently. As I mentioned, completing the certificate or diploma program may make students eligible for the PGWP. And as an intro, one of the key admission requirements for all of our programs is an IELTS of 6 as a guideline. So most generally, our full-time certificate or diploma programs can be summarized in the information presented here. So our certificate, or what we call the CBA, Certificate in Business Administration, is typically a 1-year program that requires completion of 8 courses. So what that means for students completing 3 or more courses per term is that it usually takes about 1 year. Each of our courses are 13-week semester, so we operate on a semester system at the University of Victoria, where students are always studying in full-time programs in our academic terms, which are January and September, and they have the option of studying in May if they'd like to move through their program requirements faster. For the Diploma in Business Administration, what we call the DBA, and is probably our most popular program, it's approximately 2 years long or 24 months. Students can begin in any of our terms, of course, January, May, or September, and they must complete 14 courses to receive the diploma. Again, the full-time requirement is a minimum of 3 courses per academic term, and each of our courses is 13 weeks. So our term is 13 weeks long. You can see the tuition estimates for each program. For the CBA or certificate, the estimated tuition and fees is 8,800 Canadian dollars. And for the diploma, the 2-year diploma program, the estimated total cost is 15,400 Canadian dollars. So that's including an estimate of fees and course materials. As I mentioned, the admission requirements for our full-time certificate and diploma programs are IELTS 6 or equivalent, which most often is IELTS, TOEFL, an English partner school pathway, or the U-Vic English Language Center ELPI program level 570. So we often work very closely with the U-Vic English Language Center to create a program for students who need a little bit more English preparation and who'd like to move then into a full-time academic certificate or diploma program. Some of the other highlights of our programs, of course, are the choice that students have in selecting their courses. So students are able to choose from their topics of interest each semester and build their program based on the program requirements as well as their interests, as well as the flexibility in our programs. So especially in format, we have been offering evening courses, daytime intensive courses, or online courses every semester to our students in the certificate and diploma in business administration programs. And what that means right now is that during COVID, of course, our programs had to move entirely online. So we were lucky in that our students already had the option of online courses. They were already a part of our full-time programs. In fact, we've been offering online or distance ed options for our students for over 25 years. But because we've moved entirely online, our experience in this area has meant that we already knew all about how students studying online learn together differently and how do we make sure they get the same engaging, high-quality experience in online courses as they have face-to-face. And of course, because our online and face-to-face courses were already a part of the same full-time certificate and diploma in business administration programs, our international students who are studying online now and who are beginning studying online in January, for example, in 2021, they'll be able to switch back to face-to-face studies if they'd like, as soon as that resumes on campus. So our students have experienced a smooth transition in format, which has been, of course, that flexibility has been extremely essential during the challenges we've all faced due to COVID and the lack of face-to-face study being available. So just a little bit of brief information about what our online courses look like. They have the same hours per week of study time as all of our courses. And most of our courses are asynchronous. So that means that students don't need to be online at a particular day of the week or a particular time of day. And in our students' case, that's been particularly helpful because many of our students are located in their home countries right now, even while they're studying full-time and working on their certificate or diploma. So another option for full-time studies that we offer under the umbrella of our certificate and diploma in business administration or CBA or DBA programs is our intensive study options. So programs that move faster, or what we call the fast track program options. So as you can see, typically these programs are offered face-to-face beginning in January, May, and September of every year. However, this year we have had to postpone the intensive program. So the next applications being accepted for intensive fast track programs are in September 2021. So you can see that in comparison to our regular certificate and diploma programs, these programs are completed much more quickly. For the CBA fast track model, for example, the 8 courses required for the certificate are completed in 3 months or just 12 weeks of full-time daytime study. So this is a very intensive course program where students complete a prescribed set schedule of courses in a particular order in just one semester. It's very intensive, but it's an amazing opportunity for students to achieve a prestigious academic credential in a really short amount of time. The diploma fast track, DBA fast track, allows students to complete the certificate program in their first term. So they complete those 8 intensive daytime courses in their first term, and then they meet the rest of the requirements of the diploma in business administration through studying in or completing those remaining 6 courses for a total of 14 in additional terms of full-time study. You can see that the price of these fast track intensive programs are very comparable, but slightly less to the regular programs, primarily because student fees are less if you're studying for a short amount of time. But the English fluency requirement for these programs would be the same, as well as the admission requirement is a little bit higher for fast track programs. So what that means is students are required to have a minimum of 2 years university or 5 years work experience to apply for these programs, but the same level of English proficiency is typically required. And some of the additional specialized features of our intensive or fast track full-time certificate and diploma in business administration programs or that they also have full-time support of a teaching assistant. They have a even more experienced student cohort. And because the students are in every class all day together, they often make some very strong friendships and relationships and support each other. So the students have a chance to learn a really integrated schedule of business administration topics all together, which really allows them to fit the courses together in a really short amount of time and gain skills that they can use in their future professional workplace. Okay, so I'm sorry if that was a lot of information in a very short amount of time, but we wanted to make sure that we could specifically answer the questions that are relevant to you. So I would like to invite John back if he's available. Oh, there he is. Hello. And just, of course, thank you again for letting me do a little overview of our options for students who are interested in studying primarily full-time at U-Vic Continuing Studies in Business programs. And then invite students or attendees at the webinar to ask any questions they might have about these programs or other things, related.
Okay. Perfect. No, we have the chat is open. Chicos, el chat ya está abierto. Abrimos el chat para ir contestando algunas preguntas. Y recuerden que lo que no se conteste aquí, nuestras chicas, nuestro equipo va a estar ahí tratándolos de manera personal, de manera directa, uno por uno, en estos próximos 2-3 días. Ellos van a estar dando seguimiento a las personas que están aquí asistiendo al chat. También otro punto que creo para los que a lo mejor no cacharon bien, otro punto que creo que es muy importante es el hecho que el CBA, que decía Marlo, el CBA se puede completar de manera intensiva en tan solo 3 meses. Entonces, en 3 meses puedes tener lo que es tu certificado como administrador de empresas en 3 meses, pero es un programa muy, muy intensivo, ¿no? Y obviamente ese programa no te abre la puerta al Postgraduate Work Permit, pero el diploma sí, el DBA sí te abre la puerta a que puedas venir solo en familia y todo eso, ¿no? Entonces, tenemos a Desiree Galván, she's saying, buenas noches, buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Okay, here they come. Okay, so, Ruben is asking, I'm a master in graphic design and I want to live in Canada. I am 52 years old and I have a 5.0 in IELTS general test. So, Ruben, you would need to get a 6 and you would need to be IELTS academic. Is that correct, Marlo?
That's right. So Ruben, it sounds like actually, I mean, you have a master's degree and probably a lot of professional experience. That would lend your skills would be very appropriate for our program. We have many experienced, mature students in our programs. We would just need you to most likely improve the IELTS score, either through taking, you can apply to take an English program at U-Vic, right before you move into the certificate or diploma in business administration, if that's what you're interested in. But you also could, complete an IELTS prep program and submit a new score to be eligible for applying to the program. Well, lots of questions. Okay.
Okay, so then we had the first question.
Sorry. Okay.
With Helena. Elena, I find it very interesting, your plan of studies, your study plan. But as far as the work, how would the work be, the work part?
Oh, related to academic study.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, so it depends. I mean, John, you may have insights in general as well, but I know in my program, typically students who receive a study permit are also eligible to work part-time while they're studying in an academic program and full-time during scheduled breaks in study. And at U-Vic, we don't place students in a particular job, if that's what you're asking, Helena. So there's not really a placement associated with the program. However, we do have resources on campus. So as a U-Vic student, we do have supports through our Career Services Office for students who need help to search for a job in Victoria or want to know how it works or how to improve their resume and prepare for an interview in Victoria or Canada. Those resources and supports are definitely available, but there's not a specific placement in the job associated with the program.
So, Elena, en corto, no sé si entendiste todo lo que dijo Carlo, pero básicamente no hay bolsas de trabajo como tal, pero sí te apoyan con la parte de cómo prepararte para el mercado laboral. Okay, so Ruben mentioned that. Desiree Galvan.
If Ruben's question is just, Ruben mentioned his age, I'll just specifically jump in that if there's no age limit for certificate and diploma programs at U-Vic, you must be an adult, but we do have the work experience requirement. So students must have completed full-time work experience. So usually that means our students are about 20 or older at least. And then for the intensive programs, sometimes slightly older than that.
So Paulina mentions, hi, I'm interested in translation and interpretation programs in French and English. This is not the right webinar for this one, Paulina, but our team will definitely be able to help you because U-Vic obviously would have programs that would...
Paulina, if you follow up with, it's not my area of expertise, but if you follow up with John, of course, the Division of Continuing Studies at U-Vic does have French language programs. So we might be able to share some more relevant information for you, for sure.
Yeah, so definitely, Paulina, nuestro equipo se estará poniendo en contacto contigo. Alejandro Lara. Hi, I wish to go to Canada to work. What do I need? And what time am I ready in Victoria City? Alejandro, para venir a Canadá a trabajar, necesitas venir a través de un programa de estudio, que es lo que estamos viendo el día de hoy. Hay otros programas migratorios, pero eso no es el tema, la temática de hoy. Entonces, gustas con nuestro equipo, igual podrás ponerte en contacto con ellos, más bien ellos se van a poner en contacto contigo y te podrán explicar los diferentes programas migratorios. So I'm just explaining to Alejandro that the immigration part, that's not today's topic. Today's topic is basically your topic with your business part. So, but that he can address that once he hears from our team. Yvonne Santos. Okay, so Yvonne Santos. Hola, buenas noches. I want to go and live with my family. Claro, Ivonne, sin ningún problema. ¿Entendiste todo lo que se puso aquí el día de hoy? Porque pues ahí pusimos los requisitos, idiomas y todo el proceso. Pero sí, este programa sí te abriría la puerta this program would open the door for you to come, like a DBA would open the door for you to come here with your family, no problem.
Because our program is very appropriate for mature students, many of our international students come with their spouse and families because, this is the type of program that attracts mature students. So they often have dependents with them. And many of our students have been successful in coming to Canada and studying and working with their families and having an excellent experience.
And Lucia. Lucia says, I'm 15 years old. Wow, she's starting young. She's starting.
You're very organized, Lucia.
So in studying high school currently, what do I need to do to start the intention of movement? Well, Lucia, first you need to either finish your high school there or come and finish it here. Why not? You can come and finish high school here in Canada. Actually, the University of Victoria has very good transfer programs with different school districts. So that's something that, again, you can touch base with our team. Nuestro equipo te va a hablar, Lucia, para que puedan ver ese tema. But yes, it's definitely good on you for being so ahead. De Jesús Castillo. Buenas tardes, estoy interesado en emigrar a Canadá. Soy licenciado en deportes de algún programa para seguir estudiando y vivir allá. So basically saying he's interested in migrating to Canada. He has a bachelor's in sports, I would assume sport education, something like that. Is there any program so that I can keep studying and living over there? Well, I would assume this program, the DBA, would be.
Yeah, if you're interested in business administration, that would be it's a good complement to a specialized bachelor's degree for sure in improving your employment opportunities in Canada or even at home too. But so for many students, that is their long-term goal, is to study the diploma to improve their professional opportunities and hopefully maybe apply for the PGWP program and continue that.
If Jesus has, basically, if Jesus is going to want to start a gym, let's say, who's going to administer that gym? Who's going to manage that gym, right? So administration goes good with everything. We have people that come to us and they're like, oh, I'm a dentist here in Mexico. I want to be a dentist there. Well, take business, right? Because you're going to have a dentist's office one day. Well, you're going to need to manage it, right? So management, that's the beauty of it, is that business administration basically works with everything. So
it's absolutely true, because in any industry, in arts and really specialized fields, if you work in a team, if you will be managing people or supervising anyone, of course, all of these skills become really, really important to getting a job in any industry, for sure.
Right. And Jesús, so muy importante que sí puedes tomar administración como un complemento a tu carrera actual, y con eso ya podrías lograr abrir esa puerta para que puedan venir a Canadá. Angelina Salinas, she's our manager at our Querétaro office. So thank you very much, Angelina. You're on the ball. So is Desde. So
thanks, Angelina.
She's helping us.
Good. Amazing.
Filter out the Spanish ones. Yvonne Santos, I'm a teacher, a kindergarten teacher, but Angelina already answered that as well, so that's perfect. For Yvonne, algo de early child learning would be a very good program for you, I would think. Beatriz Velasquez, mi nivel de inglés. Okay, so Yvonne's level of English is not good. But can I please, what do I need to do to apply to strengthen my English and apply later to the DBA? Eso es perfecto, Beatriz, porque puedes precisamente levantar tu inglés. Nosotros te apoyamos con eso, CEL Canada te puede apoyar con eso para que después sigas con el DBA, de DBA a través de U-Vic. Entonces, incluso podemos apoyarte con lo del inglés, incluso en U-Vic también. Entonces, Angelina estará en contacto contigo. So Angelina will get a hold of Beatriz to guide her through the ELC part. and that way she can work better. And then Yvonne is already talking to Angelina directly, so that's perfect. Yay. Leticia, I'm sorry I was not at the I didn't see the presentation complete. I have doubts if this diploma is equivalent to a master's degree, and I want to know if I should certify myself in IELTS or in TOEFL, and in additional in a pathway, or just one of the three. Well, she's in English. She wrote the question half in English, half in Spanish. So let's go here and assume that Leticia understands English pretty good. So you take it.
Sure, Leticia. I hope you can understand okay, and I can break your question into two pieces. So we don't require multiple evidence of English fluency. So if you have IELTS or TOEFL, that you just need one. And then the alternatives being that if you complete, for example, if you complete the English program at U-Vic, the ELPI program, which is our most common intensive program leading to a diploma in business administration at U-Vic, you don't need an IELTS or TOEFL at all if you successfully complete the right level of the U-Vic ELC program. So as an example, there's lots of good options there. It just depends what works best for your plan. And then the second part of your question, so certificate and diploma, they're professional programs. So they are not the same as a master's degree. It's a little bit different. They're more focused on professional applied skills, practical skills for students who are wanting to use these skills in their job and gain employment advancement. So it's a little bit, some of the topics would be similar, of course, to a master's degree in business, for example, but the focus on theory and the depth and breadth of the courses is a little bit different because we're very focused on applied study and continuing studies and very practical skills for for students who want to use these skills in a professional workplace. That makes sense.
The million dollar question.
Yes. What's the $1 million question?
Marce is, we actually know her. She is, her and her husband are actively finding a program here to come to Canada. So she's saying, buenas noches. The intensive program will give you time to work. So the DBA, will that give you time to work? In additional, would my husband be able to get a work permit? And would my 12 and 14-year-old son and daughter, would they be able to study in Canada?
Okay, so multiple questions in there. Do you want me, sorry, John, do you want me to answer? Is that okay?
Yes, I think, let's say you're taking English classes presently.
I hope it's okay. Please follow up with the CEL staff if you don't understand the answer, and then they can provide more details.
Yeah, we're good friends, so.
Oh, good, okay. So definitely the first part of the question, the intensive programs, in the CBA Fast Track, for example, because it's only one semester, there would not be time to work for most students. It would be too busy. Technically, if they had a study permit, they may be permitted to work part-time, but it's not common because the program is so intense.
And in that program, she would not be able to bring her husband and kids, right?
It most likely not, and most likely not. So, and then the diploma fast track, so the intensive DBA fast track, it depends how we work with you to plan that program. So for many students, their objective is to finish as quickly as possible. So they will study every term in an intensive format. And so there will be less opportunity to work. But however, the semesters in our program are for full-time programs. Students must study in September and January terms, but they're not required to study in the summer term or the May term. So even in a fast track program, you can take the academic break in the summer term and work if you prefer to. We can help you to plan your diploma fast track program that accommodates the work break in the summer, and that is absolutely permitted. But it just depends on the program planning. If you'll be studying full-time in the summer, it does limit how much you're able to work, for example. And then the other parts of your question. So I can't speak with any kind of guarantee, of course, to anything related to immigration, but students who in our program, typically they will apply for a study permit in the intensive diploma or the longer term 1-year CBA or 2-year DBA. And if they successfully receive a study permit, typically their spouse is usually able to receive a work permit as a dependent, and their students or their children, if they are applying and they have children, dependents, they typically can bring their children to Canada as dependents as a student. So this is, we can't guarantee this, but it is something that has happened for past students. It's very common.
She's asking about studying the 12 and 14-year-old.
Yep.
Will they be able to study here?
So it depends on what she means by definitely that we have excellent public schools in Victoria and Canada. So there would be amazing options for your children, but they may be subject to paying international student fees as children in our school district. Mm-hmm. So we typically, for students with families and spouses and children that are coming, we would typically help you, or CEL would help you to make sure you get in contact with the school district where you'll be living to find out all those details before you make your final plan and decision. But that is generally, many of our students do travel here with families. But it can have a few different pieces that need to be planned ahead of time, which is why it is helpful to have someone to support you and help you guide through that process.
Okay, no, that's perfect. I hope that, espero que eso te ayudó, Marcela. Karen del Castillo, so good night. To migrate in a couple, as a couple, what would be the most recommendable? The two of us are professional people, we're two of us are professionals, okay. And it's necessary in each case to study the IELTS. Yes, Karen, sí es necesario que tengas tu certificado. En cualquier caso, necesitas tener certificado tu inglés o tu francés si vas a Quebec. Entonces, esa parte es muy importante, que tengas tu inglés certificado. Lo puedes certificar ahí en México o aquí en Canadá, sin ningún problema. Los dos son profesionistas, entonces ahí entran muchos casos. Podría ser que aplicas para que seas elegible para el programa de Express Entry. Si los dos son profesionistas, pero entran muchos factores, edades, experiencia laboral, etcétera, etcétera. Entonces, aquí sería mejor que te pongas en contacto con nuestro equipo. Ellos te van a estar buscando, te van a dar un formato que tú llenas y con ese formato ya tenemos una mejor idea cuál sería el programa migratorio que sería mejor para ustedes, para su caso en particular. Angelina, can you get in contact with me? Perfect, okay, so that's great. Yvonne, so they're talking all that stuff. Antonio Carpintero, hi John, nice to say hi. Quick question, which are los diferenciadores? ¿Cuáles son los diferenciadores principales de su oferta educativa? How would you translate that to English? I don't understand that quite well. ¿Cuáles son los diferenciadores principales de su oferta educativa? Like what stands on the side? Okay, so Antonio Carpintero is asking what makes you stand out from other educational offers across the country.
Oh, awesome. Is he talking about U-Vic? Is that, yeah. May I?
Well, he's saying hi to me, but I would like to think he is actually asking about U-Vic, right? So what makes U-Vic stand aside, and especially the BMP?
Excellent. Yeah, well, that's a very good question. But I mean, in a very short answer, I could talk about that for the rest of the evening, I'm sure. But I mean, U-Vic as an institution is very highly ranked. We have an amazing research and academic reputation, as well as first-class facilities in, my very biased opinion, the best city in Canada. So we definitely have a very unique location institution and, of course, our programs being a part of such an amazing institution and amazing location. So we're very lucky to provide those advantages to our students, with the additional benefit of continuing studies business administration programs being very, very focused on creating opportunities and working with students to meet their very practical professional goals. So we really support our students. We provide very, very supportive customer service. We know our students' names. Usually our classes are very small, so students get to know each other quite well, and it's a very supportive environment with a very realistic, practical focus on helping students to work towards whatever their goal is. So if it's to get a promotion, to, you know, maybe prepare to switch careers, open a business, something like that, our programs are very practically focused on helping students to do that.
And I remember that UVic used to be ranked amongst the 1% of the best universities in the world. Is that still the case?
Yes, I think so. I haven't checked that. I know we always mention the Maclean's magazine ones because we're always top 2, top 3 for total comprehensive university. But yes, we've also been ranked in the top 1% in
Antonio, en corto, espero que I hope you understood all this, Antonio. Pero en corto, que vivimos en una de las mejores ciudades para vivir en el mundo, en uno de los países mejores para vivir en el mundo, y la Universidad de Victoria está rankeada siempre adentro de las top 3 a nivel nacional y normalmente adentro del 1% de las mejores universidades a nivel mundial. Así que eso destaca mucho, por donde lo veas, destaca mucho donde vivimos. Aide, sorry, Aide, I'm going to butcher your last name because I don't, Spanish is not my first language. So I'm not even going to try and say her last name. Buenas noches, no pude seguir la transmisión, so she couldn't watch the full webinar. And I would like to know what requirements do I need to make in order to study nursing? Okay, we're totally in a different area. Aide, sería mejor que ahora que se pongan en contacto contigo nuestro equipo de trabajo ahí de México, ellos te darán seguimiento de manera personalizada a esa pregunta. Y yo creo que es más importante, porque hoy estamos muy enfocados en la cuestión de negocios, de business, okay? So I just told her that with the girls, that she would be able to talk to them about that, right? Because, yeah, that's totally way off the scope of today's webinar. I wish to go and work in Canada, pero ¿qué mes se hacen? Okay, I'm not sure if I understand this question from Josino. So I'm going to ask Angelina to address this one. It just says, I wish to go and work in Canada, but terms and finish the master. I think he wants to finish his master's. I'm not really sure I understand it, but sorry, Costino. Angelina will answer your question for you because I'm a little lost there. That's one of the disadvantages of speaking Spanish, but not having it as my first mother tongue, right? Lucia, and what about my brother? He is studying an industrial engineer career, and my sister that wants to study architecture. Well, Lucia, this is in English, so Marlo, take it away.
Well, it depends, Lucia, if you mean they have already completed, if your brother has completed his education, or they're just looking into options. So, I mean, UVic has a huge range of programs, including engineering, but it's not my expertise, of course. If they've already finished their first training or first degree in these topics, many students will continue from specialized training into the business admin certificate and diploma because it works really well together to have a specialized engineering degree, for example, and then also study, business and management because you will end up working in a professional field or supervising employees, and these are really important skills to combine. But if your brother and sister are looking more for opportunities to start these type of programs in Canada, I'm sure when CEL follows up with you, for example, that you could discuss different options, including what might be at UVic. I know we have a huge engineering program that's very highly ranked at UVic. It's just not my specialty. And as well as some other programs, but I'm not sure about architecture. So
we'll see it. Guess who can manage all your paperwork trail to get you up here. So be in touch with our team, and they will most likely be able to contact you within tomorrow or the day after. Beatriz Velasquez, excellent. Thank you 1,000 thanks. Veronica, okay, that was okay. So that's a different one. Hi, John. Oh, okay, Antonio Carpintero. Hi, John. Very nice saying hi to you. We already had the opportunity of meeting in person, but I would like to know which are your... Okay, Antonio, I believe we already answered that. How do we stand out in the educational offer? I believe we already stand out in that.
I hope so.
So we did it mostly in English, but okay. Thank you, Angelina. ¿Qué pasa si estudiante? Okay, so what happens if the student will be my wife and I have a 14-year-old son from my previous wife? So you see, this is what I meant, Marlo, right? We get into very
specific
questions. So Antonio, I think this would probably be better if we do this one in private.
You would likely need some very specific immigration advice about how guardians work, but definitely,
right? This is how it's focused on, you know, who has the custody of the child.
Yeah, it's very complex, but I'm sure there will be options to chat about.
We'll deal with this every day, so don't you worry, Antonio. Manejamos este tipo de preguntas todos los días, así que te podremos dar un muy buen camino de asesoramiento, Antonio. Edgar Garcia, I would like if you could contact me. Here is my phone number. This is my plan. Perfect, Edgar. Your wish is our command. We will contact you. Leticia. Okay, Leticia. Yeah, that's good. Angelina, she's talking to him already. Very good. Is it necessary to liquidate or to pay in full the DBA prior to the beginning of classes, or how do the payment system work for the DBA?
Sure.
Question from Mayra Cuevas.
So, Myra, thank you for asking. That's a good question. At the time of application, there is an application fee and deposit due for either the certificate or diploma in business administration. But the tuition is paid by term or semester, how we refer to them. So when you pick your course subjects, when you register in your courses for the academic term, that is when your fees only for that term are due. So you don't pay for the full program all at once. You pay by term or semester, if that makes sense. Yeah.
¿Se paga por semestre o por término? O sea, cuando vas a pagar tus créditos, tus cursos, entonces se pagaría. Pero sí, no tienes que prepagarlo todo completo. Okay, so that was a quick Spanish version.
Thank you.
Antonio, thank you, John. No, thank you, Antonio. We met in person already. Well, let's do it again next time I'm in Mexico. Thank you, Angelina. So perfect. Angelina is on the ball. Alejandro Laro, I would like to be contacted so that I look at migration plans. Okay, perfect. And let's try and pick a new one and the last one because yeah, we're coming to
someone asked about age in English, and there's no restrictions on age. Mature students are very, very welcome in our programs. They're very well suited to mature students because our courses often ask students to share about their work experience and what they've learned in their career. So it's very useful to have some work experience in these programs.
Okay. Antonio says, I want to go to Victoria, but my wife wants to go to Vancouver. Antonio, there's not a lot of room for negotiation there because between Victoria and Vancouver, there's water.
There's a very nice ferry between.
Yeah, 15 minutes by airplane, right? So, Okay, but we can give you the pros and cons on both, Antonio. Te podemos dar los pros y los contras, tanto de Victoria como de Vancouver. Matilde, very good evening. I would like to be contacted to see the possibilities that I have to basically start an experience. I've always wanted to live in Canada. Very good, Matilde. You're nice to see you have that desire, because that's a desire many people have. And Canada is wanting people to come. We need to get, what was it, 1.4 million? Yes, 1.2 million new migrants over the next 3 days, over the next 3 years. So over the next 3 years, we have a very ambitious, where our government, because of COVID, is giving a lot of money away to its citizens. So we need a lot of taxpayers. So this is good. There you go, Matilde. Enrique Mendez, good evening. We would like to go as a family, my wife, myself, and 3 children, through the study program. Doesn't matter if it's myself or my wife who are the students. I would like to be contacted. Perfect. Enrique, we will contact you. Sí te vamos a contactar, Enrique, sin duda alguna. Y ahí va a depender la edad de tus hijos, cuál es la preparación, cuál es el nivel inglés, la preparación académica y profesional, tanto de ti como de tu esposa. Entonces, todo eso lo vemos a detalle en privado en estos próximos días. Which are the deadlines to apply to these programs?
So we don't have for official deadlines for these programs. However, they're very popular at the moment. So we definitely recommend students apply 2 to 3 months at least before they will begin. And then, of course, if you need to plan to study English in Victoria, U-Vic as well, you need to apply well in advance of that program as well. So there aren't official deadlines, but 2 to 3 months at minimum before the program starts. And then also, if you're working with CEL, you can speak to them about how long is processing time for different types of application.
Yeah, you need to apply a lot earlier than that, Marlo, because
what is the processing time most recently, John?
Yeah, we have to go to the embassy, and the embassy pre-COVID was taking about 4 to 6 months.
Oh, wow.
Pre-COVID.
Right. So plan very early.
So yes, now, with COVID, it's just everything has been at snail pace. So
yes, that's right. Yes, so many embassies are really delayed and just starting to open up again in the last little bit, right?
But not in Mexico. In Mexico, the VATS, the biometrics office, they're not open yet. So we are having to have students have to go outside of Mexico, get the biometrics done, and then go back to Mexico. So
wow.
Okay, you need to get in touch with us, or better yet, we'll get in touch with you. And we need to strategize. We need to make a strategy for you, because times are not, by any stretch of the imagination, they're not what they used to be. So we need to get together with you and see what's the best way to get you to come up. Rocio, I would like to migrate with my family and study for my husband. Okay, perfect, Rocio. That's the same. Es lo mismo que hemos hablado más abajo. Vamos a estar en contacto contigo sin ningún problema. Rodrigo. Rodrigo, good question. I'm surprised it's taken this long for this to pop up.
What did he say?
Rodrigo, good evening. A moment ago, I was asking about options for scholarships to study in Canada. Is there any option for some economical support? Thank you very much. So, because he asked this in Spanish, why don't you answer in English, and then I'll give him the...
Yes, I was just going to say my answer is brief. I mean, at U-Vic, continuing studies is very, there are some things you can apply for, but it's very difficult to find academic support for these programs. You may find that the tuition for our programs is actually significantly lower than many other comparable types of certificate and diplomas, but there is minimal kind of scholarships or things like that, although John likely has lots of recommendations for you as well.
Rodrigo, lo que está diciendo Marlo es que básicamente el precio en sí ya está muy bajo. Este programa, el DBA, para darte una idea, las universidades normalmente en colegiaturas te van a estar cobrando en todo Canadá entre 20 y 24 mil dólares por año. Los colleges te van a estar cobrando un promedio de 16 mil por año, 16 mil dólares. Entonces, por 2 años, un diploma 2 años serían 32 mil dólares, o 40 mil dólares, 50 mil dólares en una universidad. Aquí, el programa DBA por 2 años son 15 mil. Entonces, ya te están dando un programa en una universidad de alto renombre, te están dando un programa al mismo costo, o más bien menor costo, mucho menor costo, que un diploma en un colegio politécnico. Entonces, sí, ya becas encima de eso sería muy, muy complicado. Sería cuestión de buscar becas ahí en México a través del CONACYT o de la Fundación Telmex, etc. Pero eso lo podemos ver también a detalle ahora que te estamos contactando. Antonio Carpintero says, excellent customer service, excellent attention. Well, thank you very much, Antonio. And I think we're okay. Jorge, okay. Angelina and Jorge are talking back and forth. Angelina is answering everybody, so.
Yeah, thank you, Angelina. You are responding to so many questions.
Yes, thank you, Angie. Jorge says, I would also like to be contacted about the services of your agency, John. My email, perfect. Of course, Jorge, we will be in touch for sure. And I think we are okay to close this one out. Marlo, I would like to thank you for taking your time. I know this is after office hours, but thank you very much for taking the time to be here with us. Me gustaría agradecer a Marlo pues, de estar aquí, de apoyándonos, a Kyla también. Kyla is also watching somewhere, so thank you for the support that Kyla and Marlo always give us. Entonces, un apoyo, un agradecimiento muy fuerte para nuestro equipo que tenemos en U-Vic, que nos apoya muchísimo. Chicos, este país es un país de mega oportunidad. Hay mucha oportunidad en un país como Canadá. Así que los esperamos aquí. Vamos a estar en contacto con ustedes. Ahí está Kyla. There she is. She popped up in the chat room. Pero chicos, ahora sí, mirándoles a los ojos, literal, I'm saying, looking you in the eyes, Canadá es un país con muchísima oportunidad y necesitamos gente, queremos gente, el país quiere gente, pero gente preparada, gente que se venga a preparar aquí para que puedan contribuir a nuestra sociedad. Así que estaremos en contacto. Les mandamos un fuerte abrazo desde Victoria, British Columbia. Marlo, any last words, last thoughts?
No, I would just like to thank everyone for listening, and thank you so much, John and Kyla behind the scenes, for organizing and inviting me and tolerating my presentation. I really appreciate it. I really like the opportunity to answer specific questions from people live. I think it's very amazing to make those connections. So thank you so much, everyone, for your patience and attention. And I hope you have a great evening.
Perfect. Well, likewise, desde aquí igual les deseo mucho y stay home. Por favor, quédense en casa, porque si no se quedan en casa, la frontera no se va a abrir nunca más. Así que por favor, quédense en casa, digan a sus amigos que se queden en casa. Cuídense mucho, ustedes y sus familias. I'm just telling everybody to please stay home, otherwise the borders will never open.
Yes.
So they need to look after themselves, they need to look after their families, and tell all their friends to stay home.
And stay safe and healthy. Yes, it's very, very good.
What was that?
I said stay safe and healthy. I wish them all the best, for sure.
Que se queden sanos y salvos y saludables, dice Marlo. So, thank you very much, everybody. We'll be in touch. Les recuerdo que el replay, we have a replay that's going to be available for 24 hours. Edgar says, thanks, so interesting and so cute, both of you. I'm not sure if I fall into the cute category, Edgar, but Marlo sure does. But I'm not sure about me. But
good comment.
the replay will be there for 24 hours. Chicos, el replay va a estar 24 horas. Así que pueden verlo. Les llegará un email a todos con el link. So everybody will get an email with the link for it. So if you missed anything, see it again. It's like watching a movie the second time. You always pick up things and you miss them. Así que véanlo como ven la película 2 veces. Siempre toman cosas que no tomaron la primera vez. So, have a great week, everybody.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye.